Evening all, and welcome to episode 71 of season 8 of Factory Town, where we still have a book problem. It's quite a big book problem, and they're still struggling for paper. We have no paper coming in here to come into here, and I really want to fix that. And I kind of think I know a way to try and do that. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll give it a try. This has got enough paper and cloth inside it. It's fine. It's got enough coming in now. The problem is it can't get from here to the barn fast enough to go to all these places. So we're going to fix that by copying this. Sort of. Let me show you. Let's turn those off, and we shall see that. So what I'll do is actually remove these, and we're going to add another line of. Oh, we've got another cloth line in. Oh, we've got another line in. Of course we have. Yes. Of course we have. Let's put in another line of paper and another line of paper and see what happens there. What I was going to do was add another line of paper and cloth and have 4 stacks of it coming out at once. And then from this side, just go up and over. That was the plan. But we only did the paper up to 3 stacks, 3 high. We didn't do the cloth. Now we have no paper in here, which is understandable. But you're full of paper, which is fine. This is all full, which is absolutely fine now, because now, yeah, it's all gonna stop because it can't output anything. So let's re-enable the output to see what happens here with doing that. I'm going to spend a lot of time. Right, so to get into there, boom, page down, and drag out there. I'm going to spend a lot of time tweaking things like this. I don't want to spend too much time on it, like per episode, but I may do a lot off camera, actually, of tweaking things to try and find exactly the best way to do it, because I need to build something and test it, and then build something else and test it. And I know a lot of people will be like, hey, that's great, watch that, that's fantastic. It does mean we're not progressing in any way, shape, or form. We're kind of stuck right now, not progressing going forward at all. So, like this, I'm happy with this. This is now working. We're still not getting enough books coming in, but we're not getting enough books actually being made to come in. But we are doing okay for paper. Let's see here, 18 out of 14. Are you running out of paper? You're not. You're not running out of paper. This is good. This is good. So I think we're at level now. You've got loads of books in you, but you will empty out. Now this one's empty. Yeah, doesn't need the double conveyor belt thing like what this has got here, or triple conveyor or whatever, because they don't produce books fast enough for it to really affect it. They are getting the books in as quickly as possible, and the books are going out to here as quickly as possible and are going off. So yeah, that's working. That's doing the thing that I want it to do. Really want it to do the thing faster, but we are at the point where it just can't go faster. But this is the question that I need to try and figure out. Is it quicker to leave this like this, or is it quicker just have a single workshop with more workers in? Now we've got a 60% bonus. If we sped a workshop up to be the same speed, there is only one way to test this. There's only one possible way to test this, and that is, well, I need to know how many books you're producing a minute. Let's do that. Let's do that. This is going to be another episode where nothing progresses, but let's do that. Let's do that. So let me show you how we can do this. So let's go to our compute blocks. Let's go to an agent trigger, and we'll slap it on top there. And then we will go to a. I want to go with a counter. I think that'll work. Now, every time a counter receives a signal, it counts up a block. I don't know what loop is now. This is a new thing. I don't know what it means. There was a reset button down here. Maybe that's when it gets to a certain number, it will stop and read the loop. I don't know. I haven't played with that bit there. But I need to wait to basically have this run for 60 seconds and then stop. And I think we can actually do that. We can actually build that in here, can't we? Because we can get a timer and a gate. I will explain what all these do in just a moment, hopefully. Okay, and then I want to have a can I trigger a timer to start? I can actually press the start time button there. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll just press that. I'll manually press that button. Okay. So what a gate does is a gate will only let the signal pass through it when it is on. So if I take this agent trigger and I right click on the gate and I go trigger output, boom, and then I select the gate and I right click on the counter block and go trigger output, should be the same thing, nothing's going to happen. See, every time this goes through, nothing happened. But if I turn this on, then nothing's going to happen as well. Increment. That's what there we go. Boom, boom, 3, 4, there we go. And if we turn this off, still going to work. Okay, so a signal gate doesn't work the way I expected it to work. I thought a signal gate only sends a signal on if it's enabled. There we go. There we go. Learning logic as we go. Logic has had an overhaul. I need to redo some of the tutorials that I've had of my logic ones because they are very clearly outdated. But okay. Okay, now that makes sense. Now that makes sense. So the gate does work the way I thought it did, but I had to have my settings correct. So, agent trigger, right click on the signal gate and select process value. So it will take the value that the agent trigger sends it, which is a 1 or a 0, and it will process that value. So it will take that value and then it will pass the value on if it's enabled. If it's not enabled, it won't pass the value on. It will just stop. You can actually turn the gate on and off via timers and other bits and pieces. Then the signal gate is going to be connected to the counter via an increment, which basically means add 1. Add 1 every time. So we can reset this down to 0. Boom. I can get a timer. Boom. And what I can say here is we want to have this set to 60 seconds. I want to check for a minute. No, 60 seconds for 1 minute. Okay. Move this over 1 just to make things here. So after 60 seconds, that will trigger. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to set value, and the value is going to be 0, which means it will turn this gate off after 60 seconds. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the timer here, and I'm going to say after 1 second, set value to 1 on here. Boom. And also, you are going to right click on that timer, and I'm going to go start timer. So after when I activate this, which I think I can do myself, I can start the timer here. It will trigger, and it will start the timer, and it will start this time running, and it will start that time running, and then after 60 seconds, this one will turn off the signal gate, and then we'll find out how many bugs we get after 60 seconds. Sound good? Okay. Hopefully that's how it works. Hopefully that makes sense. If anyone's got any questions about logic or anything like that, let me know, because it has had a overhaul of how it works. The fundamentals are still the same, but just the way you connect things together are very different. So, yeah. Okay, so let's start the timer. Boom. 1 second later, You did not. You did not do the thing. You did not do the thing. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Oh, set gate state, not set value. Set gate state. Idiot. Of course, you want to set the gate state. And again, the state of the gate will be 1 open, 0 close. So, stop timer. Poof. There we go. We've opened the gate. This will go for 60 seconds. Then after 60 seconds, it will close the gate and it will tell us how long we're going to get, how many books we're going to get. So, we can figure this out by just counting how much this runs here, but it's a little visual thing. Shows you how it goes. And we've set it up now, which means that when we change things here, we can just press the button again and it will do exactly the same thing for us. So, you know, we don't have to do any mastering for that. I mean, a 60-second timer isn't particularly useful for something unless you're testing things here, but it could be useful for finding out what your current flow through is. You could use math blocks to take like a 10-second interval, how much went through in 10 seconds, and then divide it by 10 seconds, and that gives you your throughput. And then it updates every 10 seconds and tells you what your current throughput is. That could be useful for having in places. So you can very quickly go around and go, right, books are this much, this is this much, this is that much, this is that much, and oh, this one's struggling, so now I need to pick something here. That could be useful for us. But there we go. This is triggered again. Boom. So in 1 minute, we got 38 books. Okay. 1 minute, 38 books. So I'm going to put the counter over here, and I'm going to set this value to 38. Boom. So I know that was 1 minute. So what I want to do here is I want to pause. You are actually out of paper as well. You run out of paper. Is that because you're not struggling for paper again? So, but I think we left it long enough to get the right sort of time on it. So what I want to test here is I want to move these two out the way. Okay, and then I want to move this one to be here, and this one to be here, with a grabber there and there. So that is getting 2 lots of paper in and 2 lots of cloth. We need to change that up as well, because that's not going to be correct for what we're trying to do here. So let's us increase our height here and go 1 there, 1 there. Oh, that's wrong. Rotate them round, and then this wants to be paper, and this top one wants to be cloth. Well, that's what we should get. We should get the question marks. So we're coming from the barn to the workshops. Okay, so there we go. So they're both paper. So paper, paper, cloth, then paper, paper, and then this one over here is nothing. This one wants to be set to paper. Paper, paper. So I can mouse over them, and as I mouse over them in the top right corner, it shows me paper, paper, cloth, paper, paper, cloth, paper, paper, cloth, and paper, paper, cloth. Awesome. Okie dokie. So now, what if I increase this to be double speed? So it's currently at 3, so we want it at 6. So I add 2 workers to it. And that should be exactly the same throughput, as 4 of them. But it gives me more space to do things. It gives me more space, so I can get more into the workshop. Now, I think already I'm going to add two extra grabbers in the center, so it's got 2 outputs going in. Okay. And let's see how this goes. So you produce and then run out of paper. We're still struggling for paper. I can't get any more paper from here. This is running flat out. These are running flat out because they're not getting enough water. Interesting. We'll fix that. But okay. So this should be producing 38 a minute. right now. I'm going to let it kind of balance for a bit. But it's producing 30 a minute with a lot smaller footprint. Means we can add more things out here to get more into here. Like if we had more paper coming into the barn, we could get more paper out the side and go in. It also means this is going to get more paper, which means the throughput might be more because it's getting more goods in to produce things. They're not sitting idle for as long. I don't know. We're going to start the timer on this one and then have a look over here at the water source. So, let's start the timer. Wait for 1 second. Oh, no. Stop timer. Stop timer. Turn that off. All right. Reset the counter. Then we're going to start the timer. And it's going to go for 60 seconds and see how it goes. So I don't want to change anything over here until this finishes 60 seconds, but let's have a look, see what's happened here. Is it just purely you don't have enough water? Yeah, it's just you don't have enough water. That's the problem. I unfortunately don't really know how to fix that. I mean, we do have access to pipes now. So you're running at 3.5, which means you're basically wanting to use 1 water a second, and you produce 1 water every 2 seconds. So you're no longer doing a good enough job for us. We need extra wells. I don't have the space to do it. Although I do have the space to do it because we don't need these grabbers here. We can actually use pipes underground now. So we can get 2 wells per go. So we'll do that. We'll do 2 wells per go. So this produced 41. There we go. After 6 seconds, this produced 41. Okay. So 41. Reset. There we go. So that produced 41. So having 2 actually produced more books than having 4 because of throughput, because we're limited by the throughput going on there. So with workers in there. So that's interesting. So now let's change this here. Go underground to the pipe layer, and let's connect up these to here. So they should now get 1 water a second, which they don't. They need just under 1 water a second because they're producing every 3.5. So their water should start filling up, hopefully. Doesn't look like it is. It is kind of, but they're not stopping at all now for paper. They've actually got a better flow. And now it looks as if our bottleneck is going to be here, that our packager can't output fast enough. And even if I, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Wow. Even if I, wow, talking with. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay, that's better. Right. So even if I increase the increase it with a coin booster, it can't output fast enough. The belt isn't fast enough. We'd have to put a second belt in, which we could do. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a worry there. So now this is running full whack, and that means this belt is definitely 100% saturated. Let's try this again. There's no point in going back to the 4-way setup because we know the 2-way is faster with extra workers. This only works once you get to a certain level of happiness, however, because, I mean, you could do it with boosters. You could add coin boosters to balance this. But, well, I don't know, you could add coin boosters to balance this because you can increase the coin boosters as far as you want, can't you? So, this one got to 10 coin boosters, so, yeah, potentially we could get this at 12 with coin boosters. Wouldn't require any more workers. If you had no happiness, wouldn't make any difference. But right now, workers are better than coin boosters because a single worker gives us 4.5, whereas a coin booster gives us 1. So it gives us 1.5, that gives us 1. There, that increases the speed by 1, that increases it by 1.5. So workers are just better for us in general. Workers right now are better for us. So yay. Yay for the workers. Okay, so now we've got 44. Awesome. So the 2 set up with the 44 is good. Now these numbers are close enough to be kind of like maybe it was because there's a bit more of a balance going on in here, or I don't know what, but let's try a second belt now. Let's try a second belt, and because this belt is not, well, it is saturated. There is enough on there to say it's a saturated belt, but let us go up and up, and I don't know if that's enough, or if I need to go up more. I never remember whether that is legal or not. I don't think that is. I think that blocks the one underneath, doesn't it? No, it looks as if it's letting the stuff out underneath. Cool, stuff still travelling through. Okay, so if I just run that through to there, then I copy that and paste it on the one above, so it will let box goods out. Okay, and then we add a booster to this. And there we go. One booster is enough to make it start filling. You see here it's filling. It's actually not getting enough paper in now, so we're now using all the paper we have going in. Yeah, it means the barn's going to start emptying, I think, perhaps. No, barn's still got more going in. But let's see here. So you're oh yeah, of course. You're not going to actually deliver anymore because we can't deliver anymore. How do I do that? We add a second line next to it. That's how we do that. So page down, one there, grabber, autosave, page down, boom, there we go. And then you can output 2 ways. Okay, and now you're filling with paper. Okay, awesome. This already has a coin booster unloading. That's good, but you're filling with paper, so you can't actually output paper from the packager fast enough, which is, that means you're at speed. I can't put any more belts in there to make that output. Well, I can put another row of belts in if I wanted to. Suppose it's not a thing, but these are now full of paper. This is filling with paper. Awesome. So now we're at saturation point. Let's start the timer again. Okay. And the balance is going to be here where we will add another worker and see whether we consume more. Well, we basically need to get to a point where I'm producing, I can't remember how much I need to produce a minute. How many do we need to produce a minute? We need to produce 200. Was it 200 every 5 minutes? I think it was. It's more than that now. We need to produce like 400 every 5 minutes. So 400 divided by 5 means we need to get to 80 a minute. We are currently halfway there. Ish. 44 is just over halfway. Now we're at 48. Cool. Okay. Okay. So and we're not producing more books than we're delivering yet. So let's increase the workers in here. And why are you struggling for cloth? That's interesting. You're not struggling for cloth. Ah, because that belt there is facing the wrong direction. I turned around the grabber, I did not turn around the belt. Does that mean the belt underneath is wrong as well? Let's just replace all these belts. Just make sure they're all facing the right way. So our numbers were being well, they weren't being thrown off because it wasn't struggling before. It's just now we've increased the workers, it is struggling. So okay, I'm gonna throw 5 workers in there. 5 is the most you can have in a building. Okay, and let's add another coin booster. Let's make it a nice round 10 per second. Okay. Now, are you starting to fill with books? This is where I want to get to. I want to get to the point where it's filled with books. Now it's not. It's running out of goods. So we're again at the point of we need more throughput. But you are kind of... I think we're producing the exact amount of books to keep this running permanently right now. But it's going to die on us because we're going to run out of paper. We're going to run out of cloth. What if I got rid of the boosters? Went down to 8 seconds. How are you doing? Can you recover? How are you doing? 8, 9, 8, 9, 10. Looking at the cloth there. It looks like that's balanced. That actually looks like it's kind of balanced to me. We might have a little bit of a net gain of goods coming in. Okay. Yeah, that's getting to 12. Then getting to 15, 17, 18. I'm looking at the highest number I can see where it's flicking there. It's flicking. It seems to be capping out at 17. This is slowly going up. The highest number is now 16 on this one. So I think it's getting slightly more in than it's going output, whereas paper looks like it's balanced completely well. Until it all dies over here. But okay, let's 48. Reset. Let's give this another try. So go. And see what this does. We need to get 80. I don't think we're going to do that. And the reason we need 80 per minute is because we want 400. We have 2 book trains, and they take approximately 5 minutes to get round and back again. It might be slightly quicker because the return rail. I don't know, but they take approximately 5 minutes. The whole route round is about 4.5/5 minutes. So really, I should be based it on 4 minutes actually. But yeah, and we need books here for what's going on over here. No, not here. Sorry. We need books here for our research, and we need books to sell because we're selling books. We could always change the selling of books. We could stop selling books and we could start selling enchanted books. Enchanted books. I don't think that matters. Don't think that matters. To be honest with you, it doesn't matter which one of these we sell, because we just need one more to sell. Now you're not getting it. You're not getting any books to sell to be read by yourselves. So our book train that is currently trying to sell books is not working. But yeah. Okay, so now we're up to 66, and this is out of paper. Interesting. Why is it out of paper? Is it because it's outputting as fast as it can? It's not actually unpacking fast enough by the looks of it for the paper to get delivered out. Increase the yellow coins. There we go. Now it's unpacking all the way. Okay. Are you going to start getting more paper in? None of these are struggling for paper. They've still both got 20 paper in. So, but there's no way I could feed 4 workshops with this sort of speed, because the demand use would be, well, at this sort of speed you wouldn't be able to do it. You just would not be able to transport enough goods around. But having 2 workshops, generally you wouldn't. Generally you would have multiple workshops, because a workshop gives you a free worker at 100% power, 100% work speed, I should say. So this gives you 1 worker, which is 100%. Adding a worker adds 50%, but because of our happiness bonus, they add 100% on top of that. So it makes more sense right now to have this. If you didn't have the happiness bonus, you wouldn't go this. You'd always go with multiple buildings and then use coin boosters. Okay, so we're at 66. So 66 times 5 is it's 330 every 5 minutes. That's good. Not great, but it's good. A bit of a figuring out episode on this one, but hopefully it was enjoyable. We haven't really got any production going on again. Haven't progressed any further, but yeah. Oh well, what's new? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, as always, have fun.